Welcome to Deep Dive. Today we're taking a closer look at something that's, well, it's a really critical topic, impacts nations globally. But it holds a particularly significant meaning for India. We're talking about the phenomenon often called brain drain. And this isn't just about people moving, is it? It's really about the flow of human capital, intellectual power, the future potential of a country.
Indeed. Yeah, when we talk about brain drain, we're really referring to the movement of highly skilled, highly qualified individuals. Think engineers, doctors, scientists, people who leave their home country, often looking for, better work conditions or maybe just different opportunities abroad.
Right.
It's often called human capital flight because, well, much like financial capital, this incredibly valuable resource is literally moving away.
And for India, this is huge, just huge. We'll explore the why behind this trend today, the real impact it has on the nation, and crucially, what could potentially be done to maybe turn the tide. Our mission today is to really unpack the complexities of this global challenge and maybe reveal some surprising facts about its effects and potential solutions.
Okay, let's unpack this then. When we talk about the actual numbers, just how significant is this outflow of talent from India?
Well, what's fascinating here is the sheer scale of it. The data indicates that somewhere between, say, 60,000 to maybe 75,000 highly skilled Indian professionals, that includes engineers, doctors, they emigrate every single year.
Wow, every year.
Every year.
Yeah.
And to put that into perspective, nearly 1.2 million Indian students left just to study overseas in 2023 alone. Think about that pipeline.
That's a staggering number. And it's not just a general outflow, right? It feels like it's often the top talent, the best and brightest. Oh. Precisely. Yeah, studies show that about 62% of the top JEE advanced rankers, and that's the really competitive engineering entrance exam, they pursue higher education or employment abroad, particularly, the US, UK, Canada. So it really raises an important question. What's driving these very bright minds away?
And the impact isn't just felt in India, is it? The information shows that globally, Indian professionals are making a massive contribution elsewhere.
That's very true. Hugely significant. India is actually the leading source of immigrant doctors in the United States and the second largest source of registered nurses.
Really? The leading source?
Yes. For example, nearly 26.5% of doctors practicing in the U.S. are immigrant and Indian doctors. They form the largest single group among them. It really highlights both the quality of India's talent, but also the global demand for it.
So what does this all mean for India then? Let's dive into the reasons why so many talented individuals are leaving. What are the key push factors from within the country?
Okay, well, one major factor is the limited higher education opportunities, especially quality opportunities. Despite a massive increase in university enrollment overall, the growth has been, shall we say, more quantitative than qualitative.
Right. More numbers, less focus on quality, maybe?
Exactly. For instance, you take the 23 IITs, the Indian Institutes of Technology, prestigious places. They have just over 11,000 undergraduate seats annually. But then you have about 1.5 million aspirants competing for those seats through the JEE entrance exam.
1.5 million for 11,000 seats. That's incredible pressure.
It's intense. And similarly, for advanced medical super specialty courses, there are only around 10,000 seats yearly. And that's for about 70,000 MBBS graduates looking to specialize. It's a real bottleneck.
And it's not just about getting into these institutions, is it? But maybe the quality of facilities once you're there, that could be an issue too.
Exactly. That's a significant concern. The lack of adequate infrastructure, modern facilities. Many state engineering colleges, for example, lack basic things like functional workshops. Government medical colleges can struggle with essential hospital infrastructure. And then there's India's R&D spending, research and development. It's relatively low, around 0.7% of GDP. Compare that to 4% in places like South Korea or Israel, leading innovation economies. This limits opportunities for cutting-edge research right there in India.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for many people listening. The financial aspect. Is it simply about the money?
Well, financial incentives are definitely a dominant factor. You can't ignore it. The disparity in salaries is just stark. An Indian doctor might earn, say, 50,000 to maybe 150,000 INR monthly, okay? A comparable position abroad could easily pay 8 to 12 times more.
8 to 12 times. Wow.
Yeah. And for IIT computer science graduates, say with 6 years experience, The difference might be INR 911 lakhs monthly in India versus over INR 90 lakhs annually at a global tech giant. But, beyond just the economics, issues like corruption, bureaucratic red tape, even social political divides, they also act as push factors. They contribute to a sense of dissatisfaction for some.
And a common claim you often hear linked to brain drain is the policy of reservation in India.
Yeah.
How does the available information address this? It's a sensitive topic.
It is, and it raises an important question. Now, while some claim reservation policies are a primary cause, the material suggests it's more complex than that. Reservation primarily applies to public sector jobs, right? And those account for a pretty small percentage, maybe 2-4% of total employment in India. It's generally not applicable in the private sector. So many argue the real problem lies more in the insufficient number of quality educational institutions and job opportunities overall, for everyone. Rather than reservation itself being the main driver of emigration for highly skilled people, some even point to an implicit reservation in the private sector favoring certain groups. And others highlight that, look, other countries also have affirmative action policies. So it's definitely not a simple one-to-one correlation. It's part of a bigger picture.
Right, much more nuanced.
Yeah.
So if those are the push factors from India, what's pulling talent towards other countries? What are the pull factors?
The pull is strong. Very strong. Foreign countries offer significantly better economic opportunities. That means higher pay, often better working conditions, and crucially robust research pathways. Take Canada, for example. It's actually surpassed the U.S. recently as the most preferred destination for Indian students.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Well, it seems driven by lower tuition costs compared to the U.S. and strong post-study work opportunities, up to 3 years. That makes it much easier to transition to permanent residency, you see.
So it sounds like deliberate policies abroad are really playing a big role here. They're actively trying to attract this talent.
Absolutely. Many developed nations have favorable migration policies. They're selective. Things like the European Blue Card, for instance, specifically designed to attract highly skilled professionals.
Right.
And beyond direct employment, just the quality of education itself and the global exposure. Those are major draw cards. Indian students predominantly choose STEM fields: science, technology, engineering, mathematics. About 55% of enrollments abroad are in STEM. They're seeking advanced research facilities, industry-oriented curricula, things that enhance their employability on a global scale.
This outflow must have pretty significant consequences for India itself. What are the main impacts we really need to understand?
Oh, the financial hit alone is substantial. Conservative estimates suggest India loses somewhere between $35 billion to $50 billion annually.
Billion, with a B.
Billion. That's due to foregone economic growth, lost productivity from its brightest minds leaving. And consider the investment the country makes. An IIT seat, for example, costs the government upwards of 10 lakh per year. About 90% of that is subsidized.
So the taxpayer is funding this education.
Exactly. So when these highly educated individuals leave, it essentially becomes a taxpayer capital flight. That initial investment in their education is effectively lost to the country's economy.
So it's not just direct monetary loss then, but a deeper loss of future innovation and maybe even essential services.
Precisely. That's the key. The large-scale emigration leads to an acute shortage of highly skilled professionals in vital sectors. For instance, India currently faces a ratio of about 1 practicing doctor for every 1,700 patients. The WHO recommends 1.1 thousand.
That's a big gap.
It is. And shockingly, over 75% of faculty positions in elite medical institutes like AIIMS have remained vacant for years. Imagine that. This also directly hampers India's global competitiveness. You get reduced productivity, less innovation in science and technology. It can even lead to other developing nations forging collaborations elsewhere because India has these gaps.
Now, this sounds like a really daunting challenge. But what can actually be done? How can India turn this brain drain into perhaps a brain game?
It really requires a multi-pronged approach, a collective effort, Government, private sector, academia all working together. One key area is definitely improving higher education infrastructure and significantly increasing research funding.
Okay.
This means maybe doubling education expenditure, upgrading labs, computational facilities, encouraging public-private partnerships.
Yeah.
The material suggests aiming for an R&D spend of 2% of GDP. That's a big jump from the current 0.7%.
What about making India just a more attractive place to work and live for these professionals, beyond the infrastructure?
That's crucial. Absolutely crucial. Offering competitive compensation packages benchmarked against global standards is essential. You could implement things like, say, tax holidays for returning citizens with foreign degrees, or ensure better pay parity for doctors in government hospitals.
Makes sense.
And beyond money, creating opportunities for international collaborations is important. Funded faculty exchange programs, joint research chairs. These allow Indian professionals to gain global experience but stay connected to India, maybe even work from India partially.
So attracting talent back home, actively encouraging them to return, is a big part of the potential solution.
Absolutely. Policies like a high-skilled Indians remigration scheme could offer real incentives, things like income tax holidays for a couple of years, maybe GST exemptions on imported goods they bring back, preferential entry into public sector units.
Interesting ideas.
There's even a suggestion, quite bold, for reserving up to 10% of seats at top places like IITs or IMs for the children of Indians returning after extended stays overseas. Create that pull. The ultimate goal, really, is to nurture an environment where Indian talent chooses to innovate in India, manufacture in India, and prosper in India. Make staying or returning the compelling option. So as we've discussed today, this outflow of skilled talent from India, it's clearly a complex socioeconomic challenge. It has significant implications. It impacts key sectors, represents a substantial loss of investment in education and innovation potential. However, and this is the hopeful part, by strategically addressing these limitations in education, research, infrastructure, compensation, and by fostering global collaborations and smart policies to attract talent back, India really does have the potential to transform this brain drain into a powerful brain gain. And this shift is crucial, absolutely crucial, for realizing that vision of a developed India of Viksit Bharat.
That's a powerful summary. This deep dive has really shown us that while the challenges are, they're very real, the pathways to retain and maybe even regain India's intellectual capital are actually quite clear. It seems to boil down to creating that vibrant ecosystem where talent can truly thrive right here at home. It leaves you thinking, doesn't it? How much further could India go if more of that incredible talent felt compelled to build their future within the country? All the best, and we will meet again with another important matter in the next meeting.